I'm 23.
Oh, you look good for 23. We're going to have an easy fix with you. Do you have anything in particular that you're concerned about with your health or with your systems or any organs or anything that you go like, yeah, I'd really like to, any thoughts come to mind real quickly?
Um, well, I saw a naturopath, my mom's naturopathic doctor, not too long ago, and he told me that I have, like my adrenal glands aren't working properly after, because I have 2 kids, and he said that after my second, it just kind of, everything was shot. So he gave me some adrenal gland support medicine, but I don't feel like it really did a whole lot.
Okay.
What kind
But
of
that,
symptoms were you experiencing before to
Yeah,
make
that's a
him
good
come to that
question. Yeah.
conclusion?
Oh,
I had loss of appetite for a long time. I had lost about 70 or 80 pounds, just because I wasn't eating, and every time I did eat, I would get really sick, and I was struggling with depression pretty heavily. Talk about it. And what else did I have? I had a lot of fatigue, just all the time, like no matter what I did, no matter how much sleep I got, I was constantly exhausted. Felt like I couldn't even bring myself to do my laundry.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your diet and accurately as possible. Do you eat 3 meals a day or 2 meals a day, or how do your meals usually go for you?
Right now, I kind of just eat dinner, and then I'll just kind of snack throughout the day, because I wake up early and I don't find myself hungry when I wake up.
Okay.
So and then I'll get hungry, but I just let it pass, because I'm a student teacher or an assistant teacher at a preschool, so I don't have time to just sit there and snack.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. If you snack, how many times do you think you would snack, stop, snack, stop? Would it be 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, or just continually grazing with, little treats?
I'm a grazer for sure.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, here's the anatomy of our body. And it would be really good if you guys can go on images of the organs of the body, or images of the colon, or images of the small intestine. Start looking it up and become familiar with it. I just explained to your mom about the brain. The true brain is in our abdomen. This is our first brain, and it's the stupid brain that always makes bad decisions, right? Causes bankruptcies and divorces and bad decisions and all kinds of stuff. The true brain is our colon. And if you take a look at the brain, take it out and lay it on the table, and you take out your small intestine and lay it right next to it, they're identically shaped the same. They're all twisted and turned and everything like that. They're identical. So a lot of times when people have to make a decision, they consult their first brain and they say, well, I think I want to do this, but no, I'm going with my gut feeling. You've heard that so many times. Well, I'm going to go with my gut feeling. And your gut feeling never, ever is wrong. Never. So we have to learn to listen to our organs. We were originally designed to live forever. That's a long time, eternal. We were created eternal in the garden, right? And he put us in a garden for the purpose of, that's where our food comes from. Maybe you have a Bible, do you have any Bible background a little bit? Some? None? Okay.
Yeah.
It says in the beginning we were made from the dust of the earth, right? There's no dust that we're made from. The word in Hebrew is actually nutrients. We are made from the nutrients of the earth. So we need to make sure our body understands that it has a job. It's like a supply sergeant. It's to take an inventory all the time of your body. And when it finds out that it's low on helmets and jeeps and maybe army boots, it sends a message to the commander. And he goes, we need army boots and jeeps. Okay, get them. Okay, so that comes down. So the same thing with our body. When our body finds out it's low and it's watching all the time, even when you're sleeping, when you're waking, you have no idea the number of functions your body's going through without your view, opinion, or opposition. It functions on its own. So if you eat a piece of sheetrock and a piece of carrot, your body will sort through all that and go, get rid of that, this is good, we'll use it, yep, okay, we're done. And it does that every single time we open or close our mouth. So we're made from the nutrients, means we're made from the vitamins, minerals, trace minerals. That's what we need. We don't need ding dong, toho, boom booms, Fruit Loops, chocolate wacky, pizza, beer, and Coke. We don't need those, okay? And we can pitch the M&Ms too. because none of that is nutrition. Americans have been trained never to eat for nutrition, but to always eat for sensation. That's what we're trained to eat. You've never just, like if a guy asked you out on a date and he goes, hey, hi, how would you like to go on a date? And maybe get some broccoli. You know, you kind of look at, yeah, you just did that, right? That's a no. So, so we're trying to say is that we don't have that concept in America. The rest of the world is not as sick as America. America leads in every single known disease. Let's go to Genesis 1 and 2. The garden's created. The apple shows up. They call it an apple, but we'll just continue it, right? And the whole story from Genesis 1 to Genesis 2 was just 5 words. Eat this, don't eat that. And from one bite, the whole human creation, Adam and Eve, were separated from God. Their light went out. They felt like, wow, what's that? That's a penis, that's a vagina. What happened here? What's going on? They weren't even aware of their nakedness, and they tried to cover themselves. That's what happened. And then the next generation, Cain killed Abel, and Satan goes, wow, that works so good, I will never use that again. Or is that his main ingredient today? And we have the Garden of Eden with the tree of the knowledge of good, which is food, and the knowledge of of bad, which is to change that food just a little bit. By biting it, it's not the same. It looks the same, smells the same, comes off the tree the same, subs the same, but it is changed. And one bite separates us from God. That's called GMO or GE today. And that's who's the tree of life today and the tree of the knowledge of good. The tree of the knowledge of good is an institution in our land. It's he who takes food, which is our biology, and then he mixes in chemistry, which is drugs, and then he administers it. His initials are FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Who said food and drugs go in the same administration? That's like the Bullets and Babies Administration. That is just an oxymoron. So anything the FDA approves, run. Just run. In fact, use it as your guide. FDA approved, okay, that's not edible. Okay, just go on with your garden, go on with your thing. When you reach out with 5 fingers, again, 5 words, eat that, eat this, don't eat that. Here's another 5 words. When you reach out with your hand and you start to pick up something that goes into the mouth, you remember this. Eat close to the earth. Eat close to nutrition. That's what you're made of. And that's what we have to do. So disease is nothing more. I don't believe in disease. There's no such thing as disease in my world. What about cancer? That's not a disease. It is chemical interference with a biological development. So when chemistry comes in, it interferes with cellular development. So when you massively just grow cells out of control, they say, oh, it's a tumor. No, it's chemical interference with that cell's development. Well, what about degenerative cancer? Chemical interference with cells being able to just be crippled down. Chemistry harvests death and puts it into your body. That's all it is. It is not something we can live on. And now they have how many vaccines for kids?
Oh, like 300.
No, for little 37, 40, 75?
76 vaccines.
76 vaccines they want to give to children by the time they're 5 years old.
Yeah.
Now you take those vaccines, can I have all 75, and squirt them into a cup. And then look at your baby in your arms, that little precious person, and say, I want you to drink this, honey. Somebody over here from the Food and Drug Administration or from the CDC or from Joe Biden has said, this is what you need to live well. Chemistry can never heal us. Chemistry can only cure us. And curing is not for humans. Curing is for meat. What is curing? Putting something into a chemical substance like we shoot a buffalo on the way to, across the country back in the 1800s. We would cure that buffalo meat with salt brine. That's what you cure. You can't be cured by any human being. It's a lie. It's a deception. It's the biggest one. No man can cure another man because they're only curing that being. It doesn't get better and it doesn't get worse. The buffalo meat doesn't rot and it doesn't turn back into a live buffalo. It just cures you. So we don't believe in curing. We believe in healing. And that's a natural body function. You break off your fingernail, hit it with a hammer. Bang! What happens? Take it to the doctor, he goes, don't worry about it. Your body will rebuild you a new one. Of course it will. But it will also rebuild you a new cell. It'll also rebuild you a new liver. It'll also clean out your capillaries. It is to work for you 24 hours a day, whether you're sleeping, walking, or not. We just need to give it nutrition. That's all it needs. It's a master. It's unbelievable. It's a miracle. Bible says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And they put fearfully first. We should fear the power of our body to actually regenerate, protect, and prolong us for an eternity. That's quite a step. When does the eternity begin? Never. When does it end? Never. But it will generate your life that long. But you've got to get the chemistry out. Okay, biology. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school in Grand Forks and in Tioga, North Dakota.
Oh, okay, all right, Grand Forks, yeah, okay. In high school, you were introduced to science. Grade school, maybe not, maybe sometimes they do. But when you were introduced to science, you were introduced that, well, there's two branches of science. The first one we're going to is going to be fun. It's going to be called biology. Bio means life. Ology means study of life, or study of living, study of organic, study of alive. And everybody likes that. You got frogs and birds and trees and seeds and all kinds of stuff and eggs and all kinds of. This is like a living environment. As soon as you finish that, you go down the hall to the right, around the corner. It smells like rotten, stinking eggs, and that's the second leg of science. It's called chemistry. Chemistry is the study of non-living, biology is living. Chemistry is inorganic, biology is organic. Biology is alive. Chemistry is dead. And that's what we're putting in our body, being told by a company who just made $300 billion on the first 8 months of Biden's administration of pushing this COVID through. 300 billion.
That's a billion with a B.
With a big ass B. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to direct you away from ignorance, and we're going to direct you to education. And when you have those two things to work with, you're going to be able to make decisions much different than the average person. Most people don't understand what's the difference between hunger and appetite. They don't even talk about it. What's the difference? Hunger is the body takes an inventory of nutrition and sends you to go restock that nutrition to build a strong, healthy body. Appetite says, why do you want a salad? You like Snickers. What about Coke? Where's my pizza? How about popcorn? Can I get some candy over here? That's appetite. Appetite doesn't care about your health. It just wants that sensation. It knows you love, but it has nothing to do with nutrition. It has nothing to do with health. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. If you get the challenge between getting a salad and getting a Snickers, you're going to choose one or the other. I guarantee it. I'm going to choose one or the other. Everybody in the world is going to choose one or the other. So when you choose the salad, if you eat it, that voice of the Snickers just falls away. Because now you're chewing and the body turns off the go-get message. Hey, we got stuff in here. Turn off the go-get. Yeah, but it's something we can't digest. Well, turn their hunger back on again. But they overcame by appetite. If you eat the Snickers, you completely forget about the salad. It's a choose God or choose anti-God. It's to choose the system of nature or to choose the system of chemistry. That's all we have going on. What about high blood pressure? Jeremiah, you have to say people have high blood pressure. No, I don't. They have chemical interference. Their arteries, their joints, their everything, all their bloodstream is so clogged up with salt and sugar and chocolate and candy and ice cream and pizza and all this stuff we live on, the blood can't flow. So of course it creates pressure backwards. You would never go out to a hose in your garden and it's crimped and the water won't come through because it's too clogged. You'd never say, Mom, we have high hose pressure out here. No, you just uncrimp it. So what does that mean to us? We remove the chemicals. Look at your mom. She looks so different. And she's only 7 days. Look at what she's gone through. Look at what she's experienced. Look at her energy. I mean, this is a changing person. That's what we all need to look at. We're all caterpillars on this planet. Okay? We're all caterpillars. We're all crawling on our bellies and around eating little chunks of stuff. But as soon as we go up the tree and we stop for a minute and go into a cocoon and basically die to yourself, spiritual term, die to self, right? All of a sudden metamorphosis takes place. And when that butterfly comes out, it never walks on the ground. It flies from South America, Argentina, all the way to America by flittering. What endurance, what strength, what amazing nutrition that thing must have eaten. And they only eat now, they don't eat the dirt, they don't eat the bug, they eat only the freshest nectar of the flowers. Yahweh has a plan. That's his name, not God. Yahweh has a plan. And his plan is that we have a clean temple. This is your temple. And the first way we enter your temple is right here. This is called the temple. We go through the temple. You hear what we're saying. You digest what we're saying. You read his word. And when all that starts to formulate, making sense, you can now make a sensible decision. But before, if you listen to TV and commercials and advertising, milk does a body good. No, it doesn't. It does it for cows, not for humans, right? And you listen to, what's the other one that's really stupid? Do this and it's wonderful for you. They say all these things, right? We can't make a good decision because we have been bombarded by anti-God, anti-Christ, advertising, falsehoods, garbage food. I mean, really bad. And we just wind up eating it. I mean, Doritos. Who does not love Doritos? But if you read the package of a Dorito, you need a half an hour. Huh?
Sorry.
That's okay. What'd you say? Oh, something. Okay. So we want to educate you in areas like this, kind of. Understand? Your body will tell you what it needs. Your body will tell you when it's time to go to sleep. What time do we go to sleep? We go to sleep. We go to sleep when the sun goes down. Why? God turned the lights out. He goes, and there's a beautiful sunset saying, I love you, see you, the sky's beautiful, the things are beautiful. He goes, but go to sleep, I'll see you in the morning, there's the promise. But we go to bed, we change the day, not when the sun goes down, we change the day at midnight, which is the witching hour. We are living in a world that Satan is the prince of this world. It says so in the scripture, Satan's the prince of this world. I'm not giving him a lot of credit. I'm giving us a lot of discredit for not understanding the things that were prepared for us. We're going to clean your body. We're going to take 14 days, as your mom's doing. You can only clean it by not chewing. There are no alternatives to that. You have a dog, I'm sure somebody's had a dog in their life somewhere along the way. When a dog gets sick, what does it do? The first thing, I'm not eating. He just goes and lays down in a quiet place. You go, oh, he's sick. In the hospital, we say, feed him, get him lots of Jell-O. Okay, so you go get the dog some Jell-O or whatever it is, puppy chow with, gravy on it. You put it right in front of his nose. Turns his head away. He's still connected to God. He knows his body will tell him what to do. But because we rejected through appetite, our rejection of God, we are the most ignorant in nutrition versus sensation. The dog isn't. He lays there and he starts fasting. And when he starts fasting, his side starts kind of beating a little bit faster. Look, it's just kind of almost like that. He speeds up his system. Because his system is doing the same thing your mom just went through. It's saying, hey, the idiot stopped eating for just a minute. Let's clean this place. So the whole cells, the endocrine, the system, everything just starts working to clean, 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 clean. No one's here to stop us. Let's clean this. Let's clean that. And it starts cleaning. And it speeds up his system to do that. And his nose even gets warm. They say, oh, he's sick. No, he's not. He's healing. Okay? When he's done, she gets up, goes over to the door, kind of taps on the door. You open the door. He goes outside and he defecates and everything, and vomits and urinates and everything else. Then he comes back to the house, wagging his tail, so happy to see you, and he eats grass on the way. Those are called herbs. Why are we as humans asking a $300 billion death machine, what do you think I should do? Well, you should probably take this, and that'll cause more problems. Then you can take this. How much we got so far? Only 100 billion. Keep going. How about this to satisfy that side effect? How are we at 300? Yeah, we're good. But push her one more. She'll take one more if we tell her. Oh, now you need all these. So that's all it is. It's just a death machine. The logo for the AMA, your mom is so on board with this, but she's kind of in a world where we all are stuck in this, and we got to see it. Maybe we can't escape it right away, but if we know it's there, knowledge is power. The logo for the AMA is 2 serpents wrapped around a winged staff. The Bible says that Satan fell from heaven as a winged creature and took up a staff. That's their logo. But you ask them, look, hey, American man, why do you use serpents around a winged staff? They will quickly tell you their canned answer. Well, that's to represent Moses when he held up the serpent in the wilderness and everybody who looked on it got rid of their disease. Oh, so the AMA believes in God now. No, not exactly. But you see, we can be told any lie at any time. And if we don't know how to cement truth into our foundation, we're going to have some confusion. So, on cleansing out, there's no chewing for 14 days. Because it's necessary. We must turn off chewing, processing, digesting, assimilation, elimination. There's 4 things our body does every time we start to chew. When you chew, that's called processing. Chomp, 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 chomp. Break it all up. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Chew everything up really good. The body analyzes what's there. And then it swallows. Then it goes into the stomach. Stomach goes, got it. Produces stomach acid, and it starts to break down the food. So that's called assimilation. And digestion. Then it goes into the colon, duodenum, down to the small, large intestine, and that's where it gets assimilated. After it passed through the small, large intestine, it comes out. That's called elimination. Process, digest, assimilate, eliminate. Those 4 take more energy than working out for the Olympics every time we chew. How many times should we eat a day? We're supposed to eat and then digest and eliminate. So how many times should we eat? This is it, right here. Here's your first side of your colon is right here. You chew, it goes into your center, comes over here to your what they call ascending colon, the big one. It goes up. Then it gets to have to be processed and everything there. Then the second meal you eat goes in. This one moves up over to here, go across the transverse colon, and the transverse colon pulls out what nutrition it needs. Then it goes down to the third one when you eat your third meal, because now it comes into here. So it's 1 meal in, click, 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 1 meal out. 1 meal in, click, 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 1 meal out. 3 meals a day, or 2. It doesn't matter, but that's what we should have. Your mom had babies, and she knows that right after she fed them the correct food, usually breast milk or even some food down the road, she could almost time that bowel movement. Oh, I fed them an hour ago. They're ready to poop. Just take it, put them on the toilet, save a diaper. But once we get older, we start eating ding-dongs. We start eating cookies. We start eating candy. We start eating chips. We start eating this stuff that's just chemical processed. If you ever saw them make hot dogs, if you ever saw them make Doritos, you would just throw up. It's the most disgusting. In fact, it's a federal law that no civilians, American citizens, are allowed to ever enter a processing plant unless it's under control of the plant to prepare everything to look different, and you go in and see happy cows smiling at you. No. Chicken industry is absolutely fearful. They do not allow chickens to breathe oxygen at all. It's a law of the chicken industry. They have these big huts, and they have sides they can open up, but they close them. And anybody who's working for Tyson Chicken, which owns 90% of all the chickens in America, if they have their flaps open so air can come in and circulate and blow out this poop and this chicken smell and fart, if it's open, they take away their license and they no longer are a distributor. I'm talking big stuff. I'm talking way outside. You have no idea the evil behind the food industry. And we got to get that stuff out of our body. We have to. We've got to return to what Yahweh gave us. We need fruits and vegetables. And even our fruits and vegetables have been tampered. You've seen it. You've seen GMO and GE, and you get a GMO apple from Costco, and you set it on your counter, and you come back 3 years later, and it's still sitting there. You go into a store, and you look at this is all the fruit. Well, I don't see one single what? Fruit fly.
Fruit fly.
None. Because the fruit flies go, this isn't food. This isn't food. But we go, oh, here we go. Ask people where do apples come from. Where do apples come from? They come from a pyramid in your store, right? No. I was out hiking with some kids and we found an apple tree, a wild apple tree in Colorado. I said, apples, that's great. And he goes, oh no, I wouldn't eat that, you could die. Why? It's an apple tree. Yeah, but I mean, it's out here. Nobody's control. Their brains are so scrambled, and I'm not making these stories up. You've met people in your life that you just go like, that brain's just not running on all four gears. We need to change that. We need to change here. We need to change here. We ultimately start out physical. It's a physical cleanse. Then it becomes emotional and, what's the other word I want? Emotional and, that's the last one.
Mental.
Yeah, mental and emotional. Because you'll go into mental things, you'll go into emotional things, you'll almost think about people you need to forgive. Starting with yourself. You need to always forgive yourself.
So true, so true.
Yahweh has already forgiven you. He gave his son's life on your path.
That's where I am right now.
You need to forgive yourself. I've done things in my life I would never, ever repeat again, but before it was kind of like, yeah, those are things I've done. I was in Vietnam for 6 years. You can imagine some things that have passed over my life. And I'm telling you, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive your family. You got to forgive your friends and your enemies. And when you forgive everyone, you absorb this energy of forgiveness that comes straight from the kingdom. And all of a sudden, you see things differently. It starts physical, it goes mental and emotional, and it ends up spiritual. There's no way around it, especially with me. You are not graduating without a certified degree in theology. What? You laughing at? You see me laughing? This is something that takes commitment. You know what the base word for discipline is? Base word for discipline. Disciple. We all need to become disciples of one being. Yeshua, when he came, he was tempted with every temptation we've ever had. All of it. But he overcame it so he could forgive us for every one that we didn't overcome. It's a beautiful picture. It's a strong picture. But it starts with discipleship. It starts with discipline. It starts with, I'm getting up in the morning. I'm going to exercise. I don't care if the rest of the world does. I'm about me. The detox program is a very selfish program. I tell everybody. I don't think I told Sheila, but you need to be very selfish on this detox program. Oh, come on. You really want to drink? Yes, I do. Get out of my way. This is all about me. Well, you don't feel like drink. I don't care what I feel like. This is about me. You take a stand. You stand up and you protect you and you guide you and you become everything that Yahweh can now work with, because we're at the end of time. You know this world is in a situation it has never seen before. Ever. This is a big one. No man can buy or sell without getting that vaccine. The word in the Revelation is that all the world in the last days were deceived by sorcery. They would not give up their sorcery. They would not surrender their sorcery. So I looked up the word sorcery. I want to know what it is, because I study words. The word for sorcery in the Greek is pharmacia. You know what the name of a sorceress is? It's a pharmacist, a doctor, a practitioner, one who works with evil, either dark or white magic, to keep their victim under control unto death. That is what the Revelation says we will all be destroyed by. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to educate you. We're going to put you on a high platform so you can see further than you've ever seen before. I know I didn't give Sheila this big heavy blast on the religion side, but...
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
recorded it.
Oh, okay. She can just record it to you. So. But anyway, I just want you to know, we're going on a journey not many people go on. How many people have been to Disneyland? How many people are going to do a 14-day detox and not chew? That sets you apart. I did a 40-day fast because everybody in the Bible that did it, wow, what an increase in either their area of responsibility or their title or their position or relationship with God. I'm doing a 40-day fast. Kendra did a 35-day fast. She's like 52 years old. I did my 40-day fast about maybe 20 years ago or something like that. I can't remember. It was like 50 or 60 or something like that. Anyway, so I did that. And at first it was like, this is a big challenge. Say to yourself, I'm not going to chew or eat anything for 40 days. Water and a little bit of juice, like fruit juice or maybe a little bit of veggie broth. I never came out of there the same. I had something peeled off of my eyes that I look at the whole world and I see different. And no matter what's said, I go, he didn't mean that. He really meant this. News broadcaster, he just left out the most important word. If you put that word in there, it changes the whole meaning. All of a sudden you see different, you perceive different, you recognize yourself different, you see yourself as a different entity in this universe. You see you're valuable beyond measure. And no one's ever told you that. I'm telling you. Would you give your life for your child? If your child was on a train track and the only way you could save them, would you push them off the train track and save their life and lose your own? Would you do it?
Absolutely.
How about this? Would you sacrifice your child for a world that would nail you to a piece of wood? God sacrificed his child, not himself. He sacrificed the greatest love and power between a parent and a child for us who would ultimately crucify and nail him to a cross. I'm telling you, God is the best thing ever. He is so amazing. I go into nature, I'm mesmerized. I can't believe you built a hummingbird. How did you build a hummingbird? That is just incredible. How did you get a sequoia redwood down inside a seed that's completely hollow, the size of a pea, smaller? How do you do these things? And the more I look at what he wants to do with me, what he wants to do with you, is a greater miracle yet. I'm done.
That's great.
Good. I'm glad you received that, because now we're going to detox you, or not. However we want to go from there. Questions, please.
It asks about the home